Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is all about Saturn Turns Direct. Sort out your life through December 2025. So Saturn turns direct on November the 28th. His energy is crucial to understand. What is his energy? Well, there's no messing with Saturn. Saturn is Lord of Karma. He is one of the chief karmic demands we face in this lifetime. Now, Saturn has been retrograde since July the 13th. So it's crucial at this point to note what insights and issues, in particular, have been thrown up for each of us to face and solve in the retrograde period, which has now ended, and how to consolidate and solve going forward now that Saturn is direct. Even more so if you're in Sade Sate, the very difficult, often, period when Saturn goes across your natal moon, taking 7.5 years. Or if you're in your Saturn return and see my recent deep past videos and blogs that I've been doing recently about Sade Sate and Saturn return. So what exactly are the major issues in your life that have been calling for you to solve now? Saturn turning direct is now time to take stock, to define, to select what to leave behind and what to focus on, and to now take action to achieve grounded progress with discipline and review going forward, particularly from when Saturn turns direct on November the 28th, that's today. Well, how do you do this? Well, you might want to write out a key item list of the issues in your life now, the difficult ones, the needed ones, the ones that give you fulfillment. And then, having written out your key item list, you might want to go and use intuitive techniques to go deeper than that. And, to expand the items on the list. I mean, typically I use tarot, shamanic journeying and runes, whatever is your method. But if we don't obey Saturn's imperatives, we suffer and we feel so anxious. This is Saturn's role in our present incarnation, our present lifetime. But if we do successfully do the work to identify and implement Saturn's karmic demands for our destiny in this lifetime, and do astrology to sort of understand what they are, well, then we can experience golden reaping. So Saturn actually turns direct at 0 degree 56 minutes Vedic Pisces on November the 28th. That's 25 degree Western tropical zodiac Pisces. And you can see my wonderful, helpful month astrology pages with all the charts and the ephemeris in both Vedic and Western astrology for the months of the end of 2025 and all of 2026. These are in my Star Wheel Astrology website under the More header drop-down. So, go to the December month. So, what is Saturn in Pisces energy? Saturn has all of Pisces to go through in Vedic astrology. Well, obviously, It's only a part of Saturn's current karmic demand on each of us. But Pisces energy is about our dreams and our spiritual manifestations, and how we are to manifest and grow these, putting them into the context of our life going forward now. They're now needing to be given structure and proper priority. And do look out for my post about Neptune turning direct, also in Pisces, on the 10th of December, when Neptune direct joins the background energies. But there are other energy factors that we also now need to consider now and going forward. For example, what house in your birth chart is Saturn transiting through and impacting now for you? So for just one example, if Saturn's transiting your 9th house, his imperative will now be in the area of spiritual learning and growth. So give your ideal spiritual method enough scope and room, and do any necessary expansive learning to develop it and find out more about it. But we've also got to consider what house and sign our natal Saturn occupies. Does Saturn occupy in our birth chart, in other words? Let's look at the house Saturn occupies in our birth chart. So again, just for one example, and of course if you get a reading from me, I can go wonderfully into full detail for you, for your chart, for your life. If Saturn occupies your 2nd house, your present lifetime karmic imperative will be to come into your proper value issues. And you need to find out how you can do that, what behaviours you need to embrace, what behavioural scripts you need to end. And you need to make the intention to do that now. But still looking at the 2nd house Saturn, arising from your proper value, the key issue is this will also permit you your true voice. If you don't value yourself, you can't have your true voice. You have to work on that. So that's the house Saturn occupies, one example. Here's an example of a sign Saturn occupies in your birth chart. And again, you can get a full reading that's right for you from me. So, what happens if Saturn occupies Leo in your birth chart? Well, your karma may well include being anti-authority. So you'd have to check out, are you handling that trait safely and beneficially? And you must sternly work on that, or not only do you fail, your ideal self in this lifetime, you can get into lots of trouble. But having heard this, you could successfully and properly become the wonderful revolutionary you in your work, for example, if Saturn occupies Leo. But there's much more we are called to take note of and deal with than just considering the position of Saturn in our transits and in our birth chart. We have to take stock of our life issues at this time. We have to honour our key responsibilities, honour our love commitments. And sometimes issues from our earlier life, and indeed past lives, may be crying out to us. Sometimes ancestral issues may be crying out to us. So you can go to my Star Wheel Astrology website and get a reading to define what needs to be focused on now and how. Go to my Star Wheel Astrology website. But in fact, I also use a number of wonderful healing methods to help you gain needed clarity and take action. Just one example, I use quite a number of wonderful shamanic healing methods. So see that page on my Druid Forest School website. The page is called Shamanism in the heading. And on this page you can book one of my wonderful, utterly in-depth astrology readings combining your Vedic and your Western astrology, followed by a session of powerful shamanic healing, all of it online. Vedic astrology is the astrology of our fate and destiny issues, essentially, and our life purpose and direction this time. Whereas Western astrology is more about our emotional self and the unfoldment of that this time. And if love is one of your key issues now, see my Love Star Dating website. It's for those on a spiritual pathway who are seeking love. And Love Star Dating has wonderful, skilled healers to help you. So you can go to lovestardating.com. Just see the healers. They're very special. So this time with Saturn going direct is all about closing certain patterns, closing them with wisdom, insight and strength, so that our key dreams and positive intentions and serious karmas must be given the structure they need, with patience, perseverance and discipline. And I think to achieve that at this time in December 2025 and going on to next months, it's necessary to do regular review sessions, say once a week. And I do this every Saturday morning, and I include in these intuitive insight development and then magical creation of intention realization. And I can guide you on how to do this if you book a reading with me. So, do sort out your proper direction ahead at this phase in your life now, and go to Star Wheel Astrology website for a reading, or go to the Druid Forest School website for a reading plus a healing. And of course there's healers on my Love Star Dating website. So don't ignore this key opportunity, this key demand of Saturn turning direct. Thank you and all blessings.